Hi, welcome to today's workout. We're going to talk about attachment and connection. Attachment is often a problem for people of our population because we end up attaching to food instead of to people. And the reason for this is actually pretty simple. When we're born, and this is again super simplified attachment theory, when we're born we come with a plug and an outlet. And as human beings, we're wired to plug into other human beings and let them plug into us. So we want to plug our plug into our caregivers and let them plug their plug into our outlet. And if this happens, everybody's happy. And that is called a secure attachment. And this is a great picture of what a secure attachment looks like between a mom and a baby. And you can see that they really are firmly plugged into each other's outlets. But when that doesn't happen for whatever reason, it could be health reasons. Sometimes mom gets sick, sometimes baby has to stay in ICU for a while. It could actually even be the birth of another sibling or a divorce, a death. There's just a lot of reasons that the attachments get disrupted. And so there's two other attachments we want to look at. One is called avoidant attachment, and that's when you've tried to plug in, but your plug has been rejected so many times, or somebody puts baby covers on their outlets, that you quit trying to connect. It's just too hard. You think it's about you, you blame yourself, and you just don't understand the rules for connecting. The other one is called anxious attachment, and that's where you hover around a person trying really hard to connect with them. You're wanting to have a connection, and once in a while you do, but most often you don't. And there's that hurt from not having the connection there. Often you start out with an anxious attachment, and after you've been rejected enough, it leads to an avoidant attachment. When our attachments become disrupted, we feel vulnerable and we start disconnecting from relationships in order to protect ourselves, and we comfort ourselves with food, because food is a great way to attach when you're young. It doesn't have a lot of rules. It's yummy, it's comforting, it's nurturing. And so that's the reason that we go to food, and sometimes why we still go to food as adults. We have Brené Brown, who is an expert on vulnerability research, and she says those who have a strong sense of connection and belonging are people who have a strong sense of self-worth. So we have to believe that we're worthy of connection. Now, if you don't believe that right now, then go and do some of the identity workouts, because that's where we deal with our self-worth and understanding that much better. Even if you don't have a big sense of self-worth, some of this connection stuff will work with you, because we fake it till we make it. So here's some principles of how to connect better. First of all, question your beliefs about people, situations, and relationships, about why they're not connecting with you. We often personalize things that really aren't our fault or don't really belong to us. Somebody might be in a hurry, so they may brush you off. They may not say, I'm in a hurry, or I've got to go visit my sick mother in the hospital. They just act like they don't care. So always maintain the mindset that there is a reason for why people do things that they may or may not choose to share with you. The second thing is we have to be willing to be vulnerable. We have been so hurt very often, and we feel so much guilt and shame that we don't want to let ourselves be put in that position of vulnerability. Here's the secret to how to do that. Realize that in the past, sometimes we've been vulnerable with people who really aren't safe to be vulnerable around. So it's choosing people that are more healthy. And when we do that, we can connect with them with better results. Not perfect results, but better results. Keep our hearts soft, be willing to open to others and to new experiences. Otherwise, of course, there's not going to be a change. Be brave. This is scary work. And it's okay to show that it's a hard thing for you. I find that when I share my struggles with people, I get so much unconditional support and so much connection that I didn't really ask for. I didn't share it to get connection, but that's what I get. It gives me so much energy and feeling of worth and being loved coming from other people. And the last one's probably the hardest one, and that's living with ambiguity, not knowing how it's going to turn out. Doing it just because it might work, just because it's a healthy thing to do, and not knowing the end from the beginning. And when we do that, we're strengthening a very important emotional muscle, an important emotional skill. So have faith in ourselves that if it doesn't work out, we'll be able to handle it, but we won't know unless we try. Vulnerability is not oversharing. It's not going without boundaries. It's not letting other people go without boundaries around you. It's not a matter of winning or losing. You're not losing when you choose to share or when you choose to be vulnerable. It's actually winning. It's not a weakness. It's a strength. You have to come from a place of strength to be vulnerable. So your workout for today is to think about what your primary attachment style is. Is it secure? Is it anxious? Is it avoidant? Is it a combination? We all do all three, but which one is your primary one? And instead of attaching to food, who will you attach to? There may be more than one who. It depends on the situation. But who will you attach to? Who will you call when you want to eat that second helping or that thing that you shouldn't be eating that's not on your eating plan? Which of the connection suggestions will you practice? And what will your plan look like? It doesn't have to be a great big, humongous change. It can be just a little tiny 1 or 2 degree change. And so you want to make the plan reflect that. Be sure to write it down. A plan not written is just a wish. So write it down, review it every day, and see how you're doing with your connections. Happy connecting. I know it will work well for you.